Welcome back to Right Answers Mostly, a podcast on what you didn't learn in history class, but you really wanted to. My name is Tess Bellomo.
And my name is Claire Donald.
And thank you for joining us today, Rammies, new Rammies, all the kids. We're going to give you an episode today that's like very OG Ram.
Yes, of course.
We love old Hollywood. It's topical right now. And Claire, I'm going to tell you something. That might shock you.
Oh my God, I'm ready.
Do you know that there was an actress, there was a woman in Hollywood that was dubbed the dumb blonde before Jessica Simpson?
Well, I mean, listen, as we know, history does repeat itself. So I am surprised, but not shocked.
Of course. Well, today, guys, we're going to be talking about the American actress, Playboy, playmate, sex symbol of the 50s and 60s. And yes, known for being the smartest dumb blonde in Hollywood, Jayne Mansfield. And I watched the documentary. Her daughter is Mariska Hargitay.
I think it's Hargitay.
Hargitay?
Is there a G in there?
I believe there is, but it might be silent.
I've literally never heard a name like that before in my life. I remember even growing up and being like, what sound are those people making when talking about this woman? It's like, oh, that's her name.
And fun fact, she was called Maria for the first few years of her life. And then they changed it to Mariska.
Well, that's always confusing.
Always very confusing. And you were a Law and Order girly?
My household was a Law and Order SVU household. My mom and my sister would watch like the marathons all day. And I remember I would like sit and watch with them and watch SVU. And then I would try to get into Criminal Intent. And I was like, this doesn't hit the same way.
Wow. I've never really gotten into it. Like I feel like I would. It's not like a judgment. Like I would probably fall very fast. Too. And I didn't know that she was Jayne Mansfield's daughter until probably like 3-4 years ago.
I remember, okay, so Jayne Mansfield, to take it back also to, you know what she always makes me think of is Mean Girls, because the song when Regina George is walking into her bedroom and she's like, wow, I love your bedroom. She's like, thanks, it was my parents that made them trade me. The song is, I'm sitting in Jayne Mansfield's car. Yeah, yeah, that song.
My God, what a deep cut.
So I remember being like to my mom, who's Jayne Mansfield? And she was like, she's Mariska's. She's her mommy.
Oh, she is her mommy.
She's a mommy.
I'm a mommy. Mamacita.
Jayne is definitely mamacita.
She is mamacita in so many ways. So I was very highly recommend after you listen to this episode for everyone to watch the documentary. It's a lot more about her daughter's journey, but I really got the essence of Jayne and I loved researching her. So Jayne Mansfield, she was born Vera Jane Palmer. Her mother's name is Vera.
Vera's gorgeous.
Which we love when a woman names her kid after herself.
Of course, we really do. It's not often, but we love to see it.
We appreciate it. She was born in 1933 in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. Can you guess her sign?
Like a Leo?
I know. She's actually an Aries.
Okay, a fire sign nonetheless.
Very fiery, but not what I would have expected as well.
Okay.
She was an only child, which I feel is sometimes rare on our stories.
Yeah.
And her dad was an attorney who died of a heart attack when she was just 3 years old.
Tough.
Which is a little ironic for what we will be talking about. Her mom remarried a sales engineer. They moved from Pennsylvania to Dallas. And, you know, Jayne she dreamt of being a star like Shirley Temple.
Oh, she saw Shirley and she was like, I want to do that.
Of course. Yeah, Shirley's so adorable. She's singing, she's dancing. And Jayne was so talented. And I feel like this is just something that people might not know, that she was a genius musician. She played violin, piano. She could sing and dance, but her violin skills are insane.
What I would do to be able to play the violin, like for real, that's always a top instrument.
God, it's so chic. And it's also like, I feel like anyone that plays the violin, you're really smart.
No, 100%. And also, you have to be good to play the violin because it could go so wrong.
The precision.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My God. Yeah, the second that note's a little bit off.
It's very unforgivable.
That's a great word. And what's chic to me about her is that she received all B's in her classes throughout her whole childhood. She's like, you know what? I never got an A. I never got a C. I just did the best I could. And I was a B student and proud of it.
Honestly, more of that. It's just get by and you can put your talents elsewhere.
Exactly. And she put it into music and acting and singing. She was a little theater kid. So at the age of 17, she gets pregnant.
Ooh.
She's dating this guy named Paul Mansfield. They decide to get married and they have a baby when she's just 17 years old. Her name is Jayne Marie. And Paul wasn't the best guy. Paul was very much like, if you're pregnant, maybe that will make you not want to be an actress.
So he knocked her up on purpose, do you think, to like make her. Also, how old was Paul?
I think he was maybe like 3 years older than her. I don't think
okay.
it was a huge age gap, but he did not like that she was an actress because at this time, Claire, what do people think actresses are?
Well, they're whores.
Of course.
Well, of course. I mean, of course.
If you're going to put yourself out there, if you're going to look beautiful, you know, what else could you...
Which is so funny that the man who is like sleeping with the woman that's an actress is calling her a whore. It's like, babe, it takes two to tango.
Exactly. If you have that much of a problem with it, maybe don't be with this woman.
Don't sleep with her.
Exactly. Oh my God, I completely forgot about this. What's funny, Claire, they both enrolled at SMU for acting.
Okay. So it's like, well, I can do it, but you can't. I mean, but it's classic.
And he's like, you're now a mother, so you need to protect your image. You need to be a mamacita.
Give me a break. Also, SMU's smart.
SMU smart. Shout out to McKinley. My friend McKinley went to SMU.
Shout out to Gina. Sorry, we're just going to start.
Yeah, we're going to go through everyone we know. So she's enrolled at SMU during like the school year. And then in the summer, Claire, she's like, I need to do a summer program at UCLA to study acting. Chic. So she goes back and forth between summers in LA and Texas while attending the University of Texas at Austin.
Oh, so she transferred?
I guess she transferred.
Where is this girl?
She's going everywhere. She is a college girly. She won several beauty contests, including Miss Photo Flash, Miss Magnesium Lamp, Miss Fire Prevention Week, and by her own account, the only title she refused was Miss Roquefort Cheese because she believed it didn't sound right.
I'm sorry. Is there a pageant for everything?
I guess this shows that there is a pageant for just about everything. Miss Magnesium Lamp. I'm like, what does that even mean?
It sounds made up, but I like it. I like what we're working with. And honestly, she must just like have not liked dairy very much.
Yeah. And I judge her for just that.
Same.
But
that's okay. A shame.
That's okay. So when she was in college, she worked as a nude model. She worked as a receptionist. So she was just trying to get cash. She sold books door to door. So her whole like essence has always just been, I'm going to do anything I can to stay afloat and to try to prioritize what I love while still, you know, making cash for like my daughter too.
Oh, I forgot that she has a kid.
She has a kid, and this kid's she'll be in the documentary, and their relationship is very special because she's one of the few that really remembers her childhood with Jayne before she got, you know, really big and famous.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, so Jayne had her at 17.
Yeah.
Does Jayne's family / Paul know that she's doing nude modeling?
Yes, Paul is aware that she is doing nude modeling, but Paul enlists in the Korean War. So he's kind of like, he's not fully in the picture. They're also not doing well.
Yeah, well, I could have guessed that.
She spent like one summer with him in Georgia, but she like the whole time was like, all right, he can be off to war, but I got to be acting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she's like, if it's not me, it's going to be somebody else. So she's like, let me just get back into it.
Totally.
So she's doing this play. She's doing Death of a Salesman.
Okay.
And this director, Sidney Lumet, found her. He saw the play and he was like, oof. He was like, you are very pretty, but you're also very good. It's like shocking. A woman of multitudes. And so he was
I've never seen such a thing.
Such a craft. So he's like, kid, let's go get some Tess in Hollywood.
Oh my God. And she's like, I'm familiar.
She is familiar. So he got her first screen test at Paramount.
Okay.
In 1954. And he likes what he sees. And he's like, there's a lot of potential. We're not going to like give you a contract yet, but like I can help you start the process.
I see.
Mm-hmm. So they all moved to LA. They're done with Texas now.
Paul too?
Paul now is back from the war.
Okay.
And he's like, doesn't seem like we're happy, but he still moves with her and they take their daughter and they're in LA now.
Well, suddenly when Paramount's calling,
of course,
not so bad to be an actor.
Yeah. Well, I do think he's also like, okay, I feel like this isn't just like I don't actually know how. I mean, he probably felt jealous, I'd assume, if he,
If he was also doing acting, even if he wasn't.
And then he's probably drafted. He's like, God damn
Oh,
it.
damn it. So the draft ruins everything. It's
Listen,
like I was just about to book my dream role.
Truly. Listen to our draft episode, one of our, talk about OG Ram.
Talk about deep cut.
Quite the deep cut. So she's working in LA, she's auditioning, she's doing everything. And I thought the documentary did a really good job of just showing that she was like, I need money, so I'm going to get jobs that also really help me get noticed. And so she starts selling candy at the movie theater because she's like, people are going to come here and like associate like, wait, you're so like pretty. Like, you're too beautiful to be selling candy here. You should be in the movies.
She's so smart.
She is so smart. And like, you'll see that this whole time that it's just so frustrating that she has been depicted as, just one thing where she is not, she's very intelligent. Mm-hmm. Just like Jessica.
Just like Jessica. Hey, there is a difference between being dumb and ditzy. And we've been saying that.
We've been saying that all along. So people are like, damn, like who is this gorgeous woman? But she is doing some commercials where advertisers are like, your boobs are distractingly big and we can't book you in actually anything.
Oh, that sucks.
So she thought that she was going to get this General Electric commercial that paid really well. It's like, it depicts all of these women sitting around the pool. And so she's doing like tests for it. And they're just like, I'm sorry, but no one is going to be paying attention to this General Electric.
Like, they're not even going to know what we are advertising. Like, come on, we're all just humans.
Exactly. At this time, she has dark brown hair. She's a brunette.
Oh, okay.
But they are like, God, you're just like, they're like, you're too hot, but also now let's just like fucking go for it and try to make you look like Marilyn Monroe so we can completely put you in a box.
Like, if you're going to do it, let's do it.
Exactly. And let's like actually get you like pigeonholed, I guess, to one type.
Totally.
And so they dye her hair, Claire, and now she is that like old Hollywood blonde, the Marilyn Monroe, almost like icy.
It's platinum.
It's platinum. It is platinum blonde. And who do you think notices her immediately?
Howard Hughes.
Close. We have done an episode on this man.
Frank Sinatra.
Hugh Hefner.
Oh, of course. Sorry. Let me just keep going down the Rolodex.
No, I mean, we've covered all of them.
I think I was just like blocking him out of my brain for protecting her.
I understand. And so Hugh sees her and he's like, oh my God, we need to get her on the cover of
Playboy.
Of course.
Well, he was so obsessed with Marilyn Monroe, so I'm sure when he saw Jayne Mansfield.
And they have a very similar look. Like, they could be twins in a lot of ways, like very similar bodies and even ways that they spoke. But you see that it's just like the trend to like, it's all just trends of women's bodies and how you present yourself and all of that. So in February 1955, this skyrocketed her career, and she is a playmate.
Yeah,
what it's called. Yeah, she's a playmate. Who do you think was not happy personally about this decision?
I can't imagine Paul loved that.
Yeah, Paul was like, this isn't going to work out.
Hey, so I've been thinking this isn't going to work.
And they break up, but they don't officially get divorced yet. Their divorce takes a year. Mm-hmm. So, but Playboy is like very lucrative for her, and it like helps just like launch everything. She's in the Playboy calendar. She's like covering her breasts with her hands. It's a really iconic photo. And then Playboy features her every year from February 1955 to 1958 and again in 1960.
Is she getting paid like okay for that?
I think she is. I'm not sure because in the Playboy episode, we did talk about like that the models weren't really being compensated.
It's been so long that I hardly remember.
I know. I would guess that it wasn't like she's not like she's not like now I'm a millionaire, but this was like, I mean, Playboy was everything at the time. Like if you were on the cover of Playboy, you were the biggest star in the world. Like
it's so interesting because it's always been like such an honor and then like so ostracized at the same time.
Exactly. Like you get this fame and recognition, but then people are like,
but you took your clothes off for it, so we can't have respect for you.
Exactly. And it's interesting that this is how her career started, because I feel like once you're in the spotlight, like under that light, Do you ever get out of it?
No, I actually think now we're starting to be able to a little bit more. Like there are some people who were porn stars who are now like in movies. And I think with the internet, you can kind of create your own persona.
Exactly. I mean, I think also Gen Z has helped with that. Like
Yeah.
that generation is very much like you that like honors the duality in women more than even like we did as millennials because
I
like,
completely agree.
you know, growing up in the early 2000s wasn't kind, was
No,
it?
it really was not. It was fun.
Paul is trying to get custody of their daughter, alleging that Jayne was an unfit mother because of her nudity and because of her career. But Jayne, in the end, does get full custody, and so now it's kind of like Jayne and her daughter against the world, and she's a single mom, and she is making it work. So now Hollywood is calling. Hollywood is calling because they're like, you're a playmate. I think we can really market you. She's part of some like low budget movies where she's getting supporting roles, but they are dramas. She's getting paid. We looked it up. She's in a this movie called The Female Jungle. She's a supporting character for 10 days. And she gets paid $150, which is $2,000 in today.
For 2 days of work or 10 days of work?
For 10 days.
Ooh, that's not enough.
And then in February 1955, James Byron, her manager and publicist is like, we got to negotiate. We got to get you a contract somewhere. And I think it should be Warner Brothers Studios. And it's so interesting. So these like 7-year contracts came up during this time because, as we've talked about before on past episodes, a lot of actresses would get into these like pretty much like lifelong contracts where they were never able to get out. And so the 7-year contract, I think it started sometime in the 50s where it was like, okay, we got to put a cap on this so these actresses aren't trapped here, not being able to renegotiate, not being able to like, as they got bigger, like Judy Garland, like they would all still be making the same money that they did at the beginning.
Truly, and like not even being able to choose your projects at all. Like the studio system chose them for you. I mean, the studio system completely controlled these women's life in such a scary way.
I mean, it was so predatory. I mean, they, would tell them you can't get pregnant. And like, I mean, God, just listen to our Judy Garland episode.
That you couldn't get pregnant, or if you did get pregnant, that you could not be a mother. Like, it was just all control.
No, it's disgusting. So this contract with Warner Brothers initially paid her $250 a week, which is $3,000 a week today. So she has this contract. It landed her 2 films, one with a small role, and then one that was unreleased for 2 years. So it's not like she's like an immediate success. She like kind of has to work for it. But life is getting a little better. She filed for separation and then was able to get divorced from Paul. And she gets a Broadway show, which she was like, okay, like I kind of want to be in the movies, but it's Broadway, of course. And so she takes a chance. She's like not really sure how it's going to be perceived. And people fall in love with her on Broadway. And so she's living in New York with her daughter there, and it's like really well received.
I also feel like that must have been kind of a risk at some point. Like if you're trying to make a name for yourself in Hollywood, then to all of a sudden just leave and kind of really pivot.
But she is she is an actor. Like she loves the stage. She like knows that she's been sexualized already. And I think she's like really wants to perform.
I mean, I feel like we see that so much today. I'm so excited to watch the doc because like I don't know what her essence is really like at all.
What's is star sign how you present to the world?
Well, yeah, your star sign. No, your star sign is like an overall thing. Your sun sign is, or your rising sign.
Rising. So rising, she is like silly and cracking jokes and flirty and bubbly and like ditzy. Like that is what they have marketed her as. And so like they'll ask her a question. She's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I should just take off my top. And like, she's very like...
Okay, let's go.
They're like, yeah, she's super sexual.
She's very flirty.
Very flirty. And then I think her internal, like, real self is a little bit more complicated. I think she still has that silly, funny side. I also think that she is someone that's, like, prone to depression and a lot of self-criticism.
Of course. You know who she's also really reminding me of? Dolly Parton.
Totally.
someone who's like, I'm blonde, I have huge boobs, so I know people aren't going to take me seriously right away. So I'm going to be in on the joke with them. And I know that there's actually so much more depth to me.
She's very in on the joke.
I love that. That's so inspiring to me.
She totally is, because to be in on that, like to be in on a joke like that, you actually have to have you have to feel empowered, and you have to have a lot of self-confidence to be like, yeah, I know I'm not this, but I'm going to go along with it until I get here.
Exactly. It's a lot of self-awareness.
It is. And I think people are quick to say, well, that means you're not a feminist. If you're like, it's like the Jessica Simpson analogy of like, oh, you're playing along with pretending to be dumb. And it's like, oh God, there's so much to unpack.
Truly. Also, like, what a boring way to think. And also, what a way to put feminism in a box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, Claire. So people are just like very amazed by her performance. She's loving living in New York. They live in the penthouse of the plaza.
Well, what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes, I would love to be living in New York too. Eloise,
her eldest daughter at the time, says that like those times are such fond memories because Jayne is still like, she's rising to the top. She's hopeful. She's happy. She was like, I remember this one day that we were in New York and it was Easter and my mom surprised me. She opened the bathroom at the plaza, and in the tub there were like 100 little chicks, and she was like, Happy Easter. And we played with these chicks, and it was like, that was like my mom, that she was just like, this would be like such a funny little joke to surprise her with. And she starts like, she's like, I need a moment during the documentary. She's like, it's hard to talk about.
I have the chills.
I do too. Oh God.
Oh God.
Oof. Just get ready.
We're in for a long ride. I know my mom texted me because she knew Tess was doing this, and she's like, tell Tess to get the tissues ready because my mom watched the doc.
I mean, it's, Claire and I are very affected by stories of like mothers and daughters, and yeah. So I'll be there for you after the doc if you would like to have someone to talk to.
Be on call this evening, thank you.
I'll be on call. I'm not doing much. So about I think a year later, in 1956, 20th Century Fox now signed Mansfield to a 6-year contract. So I'm not sure exactly how that works. Like maybe Warner Brothers was like, you can take her.
Yeah, well, they can buy out your contract for sure.
Yeah, that's right. So now she's with 20th Century Fox, and they're like, you know what? Marilyn Monroe is having so much success. And, that's kind of like our resident blonde sex symbol. And they were like, she also just did Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. So they're kind of looking at her filmography, and they're like, we want Jayne to be able to replicate it because like she's gonna be the next Marilyn.
Right. We want our own version of Marilyn.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. And something that I'm sure Marilyn did as well, but that Jayne really did, and why even in the documentary it says that some people believe that she was the first influencer.
Oh my God. Well, of course, it's not a Ram episode if we're not covering the first influencer.
So why I say that is because Jayne was like, I care more at this point. I mean, like, I want to be an actor. I want to be getting these good roles, but like, I need to be patient. I am going to show up at every store opening, every event. I'm going to go on every single late night talk show. I'm going to be the face of, like, I'm going to be the celebrity. Like, when you think of a celebrity, it's going to be me because I'm going to make an appearance at every goddamn thing that exists. Like, she was planning it. It looks like a crime scene. Like, she's literally so meticulous, and it's like written out, and she has like photos. She prints out photos of herself and she'll put them on the days and be like, okay, that was good. For this day, I need to wear this. Like, a mastermind.
Well, truly. And she's so smart because she's creating the brand Jayne Mansfield. And that even goes, honestly, with her being like, I know I'm not an idiot, but I'm just like playing into this character.
Exactly. And she's going, and like, she does go on these talk shows, and you will see the character, like, at the beginning of her career, it is very, like, loud. Mm-hmm. Like, she is very, like, and she does this voice that Mariska talks about a lot in the doc, where she's like, I hated hearing her talk like that. You know, when I would look at clips and stuff of her, I was like, this is cringy. And it's hard as like her daughter to hear her kind of like dumb herself down. And the voice is shocking.
Well, who does that remind you of? Paris Hilton.
Yes.
God, it is so Ram coded. All of these women that we've covered and these, yeah.
Yeah.
All copy and paste of each other, and not in a bad way of just like we see it cycle through again.
Yeah, it's so true. It is always a cycle. But she loves the attention. She has fun with it. She's not like, oh, I'm doing this against my will. She's like, this is a character. It actually kind of helps protect me, much like Paris.
I was just about to say it's very much giving like an armor too.
Totally. And you have to have one at this time. Like you have nothing else besides that armor. So she finally gets like a dramatic role, which she loves, in this movie called The Wayward Bus. It's an adaptation of John Steinbeck's novel. And with this film, she is attempting to move. She's like, I got this role that inspired me to like not play the dumb blonde. She's like, I actually loved working on this. She's trying to reestablish herself as a serious actress.
Which is so hard to have people unlearn who you are. But I also feel like we see that with a lot of celebrities of like they do play this caricature and then they can evolve into who they really are once the door has been opened.
100%. I think that is what she is hoping for.
Right. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. It's what she's hoping for. But we're still in the happy part of the story.
Okay. Yeah. Let's live here for a second. Let's live
here for a second. So this film enjoyed moderate box office success, and she won a Golden Globe.
Oh, no way.
She did win one Golden Globe in her career, and you know who she beat out?
Who?
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It's an old Hollywood story we covered that has a bit of like a true crime element.
Natalie Wood.
Yes.
Our girl Natalie. Wow.
Yes. People said that her performance was a wistful derelict. What's that mean? What's derelict?
That's such a great question, Tess. I will have to get back to you.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Zoolander.
Yeah. Derek Zoolander?
You know where he says, you'll dare lick my balls?
Thank you for taking it there, Tess. I mean, honestly, I think that's probably what it means.
Sure. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and we'll leave it at that.
And the New York Times says that this was 100% the best acting that she ever did. So she deserves a Golden Globe. This is when she meets Claire. This man named Mickey Hargitay. I think it's Hargitay.
It's hard to say.
I think it's Hargitay. Hargitay. I can read. We're good. Slow down, Tess.
Well, it's really hard. Hargitay.
So she saw him, and Claire, he was performing as a bodybuilder. Okay.
Oh.
In a Las Vegas show at a Latin Quarter nightclub. And she was like, give me some of that.
She's like, me like you.
She liked what she saw. This man was very attractive. You'll like him too.
Oh, I think he was in the picture that you sent of the Speedo.
Yes.
You know, I was about to say Speedo is such a lost art, but I'm not sure if that's true.
I think a Speedo might be one of the things that needs, oh God. It's almost like, you know, when people in the past look cooler smoking.
Yes.
Is it the same with a Speedo where you're like, it just has like a vintage feel that's hard to like replicate now?
It is. I think you just need the right person. Like if I were a rep for Speedo, I would send a bunch to Paul Mescal and Harry Styles right now and then be like, go do the Lord's work.
That's good PR, Claire.
Thank you. I mean, the thighs are in right now.
Thighs are in. You know who else could do it is, what's his face from The Bear?
Jeremy Allen White.
You know, it's like those kind of like stocky, short, and they all kind of have an old Hollywood feel to them.
I'm picturing it. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Like all in a day's work.
Call us Speedo. We'll take 10%.
We'll take you to the top. Jayne was so impressed that she told her agent, I want that man.
God, I love her energy.
You know, you just have to be, I love how direct she is.
Me too. I bet her agent was like, you and me both, sister.
So in the doc, you'll meet her publicist, who is now 100 years old.
What?
And he is wearing an equality rainbow hat and has an equality mug.
No. We must protect this man at all costs.
At all costs.
At all costs. Rammies, you know what to do. Are you kidding me?
No, he is very sweet. And
you know, he was like, I'm going to be on camera, so I have to like send a message.
I know, which is so sweet.
Which is where the tissues start to come out.
Like literally. So soon after they began dating, Mickey's like, oh shit, okay. And their relationship became so highly publicized, Claire. Like the crowds, the swarm of people that are following them. I mean, it's insane. Like it almost shocked me. I was like, how did I not know about like this couple in Hollywood.
I do also feel like Jayne Mansfield, as I get older, I feel like I realize what a big deal she was, but I don't think that she was never like Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, like any of that.
No, I know.
To me, at least.
Same. But then I was talking to my mom about it the other day, and like, she was like, oh, and she knew so much about what ends up happening and like all of that. So maybe it's just
a generational thing.
Our generation was like obsessed. Like, I posted a picture today on the Ram Instagram of my college dorm room.
Tess, I spotted that right away. Tell the listeners what we're talking about.
It was like a horizontal, like long photo of black and white Audrey Hepburn, and then a color, and then it's like supposed to be the Beatles thing,
Oh, I didn't realize that's what it was referencing.
Sure was, Claire. And those were sold in like in the college section. There was always one of the Beatles, one of Marilyn, and one of Audrey Hepburn.
Well, of course, and all very different types of personalities.
Exactly. And I was like, yeah, I'm classy.
I'm definitely an Audrey girl. I think I bought a book when I was in New York by myself. It was my first trip I ever had taken. And it was a like how-to guide on how to be Audrey Hepburn. And I sat in a cafe and I thought I was the main character and read it. And of course, one of the top quotes, happiest girls are the prettiest girls. And I'm like, well, I'm doomed to be ugly.
I'm a hideous monster then.
Because I could not be more depressed.
I mean, not a great quote.
Workshop. We should have workshopped it a little bit, Audrey.
Depressed girls are very hot too.
Oh, of course.
Okay, we have to bring that. We have to bring that back. But yeah, so they are just they're very happy, and something that I like about this part of the story, Mickey is a good guy.
Oh, good.
He is a good guy to her. He is a good guy to her children. He is a good guy till the day he dies.
Oh, children. Does she have more than one kid at this point?
They get married in 1958, and very quickly after 1958 through 1962, they have 3 children together.
Okay, so these two were very attracted to each other.
They're very attracted to each other, and they are wasting no time.
Wow.
Okay?
All right, I love that.
So they have Miklos, Hargitay, Zoltan, and Mariska.
Where is he from?
He's from Hungary.
Okay, so that got it.
So they move to Beverly Hills, and they move into this place called the Pink Palace.
She would live in a place. That's the Pink Palace.
I stayed at a hostel once in Greece called the Pink Palace. Not the same. Not the same.
I was going to say, do you think it was similar vibes at all?
I'm sure they tried to base it off of this place, but,
didn't land.
That's for another time.
Yeah.
So the Pink Palace is, Claire, it's like everything that you would just imagine a 60s Hollywood feminine mansion to be.
Oh, how fun.
It's huge. It's also like a jungle. Like, she has leopards and birds and like
real leopards?
Real leopards. Like, she has a zoo in the back because she loves animals and she just wants it to be like.
This was the thing that white women did back then, because Dakota Johnson's grandma did the same thing. What's her mom's name again? Melanie Griffin.
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
We can't get a name right on this podcast, but
no.
They had a real lion.
It's so crazy. It's like, it just shows like how much time, I mean, like, it shows the wealth, and it shows really like, does. She's not like taking care of this leopard every day. But
that poor housekeeper that it's like, oh my God, I do not want to feed the leopard today.
She's like, that was not in my contract that I would have to be like trying to tame a leopard. But it was just like, there were gold pianos everywhere and flowers, and everything was pink and gold, and these couches. It's like, God, I don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of like the house in Clueless, like her mansion, like that Beverly Hills, like old money, but like a little bit gaudy.
I really do love it.
It's so LA.
It's so LA. That's like why it's so warm to me when I'm thinking of it.
Their pool is the shape of a heart.
I love that.
And her husband, engraved in it so that you can see when you look down that it says, I love Janie.
Okay, if it's not that, I don't want it. If it's not that, I don't want it. Also, there's like so much whimsy in this house.
It's so whimsy. And she was very whimsy. And like her children are all like, we remember this time of a lot of play. Like there was an intercom in the house that she would call for like dinner, and she was always making little jokes on it and throwing little like pranks on it. Like, and in that way, you know who she reminds me of a little bit?
Who?
Princess Diana.
Oh, and there it is.
Like, she just reminds me of so many women that we've covered. Like, I just love her so much.
That love being a mom.
loves being a mom and has like fun with it. Like, and I think all of her children would remember her as that whimsical like mother.
It's like the antithesis of Martha Stewart.
Truly. Literally. Okay.
Literally.
But Claire, like every story that we do talk about, and especially old Hollywood, there is the decline.
Okay, so this is the second tape of Titanic.
Second tape of Titanic, thank you. So with a decreased demand for big-breasted blonde bombshells and an increasing backlash against her excessive publicity, because of course all of a sudden it's like, we want so much of you, and then it's like, it's too much, you need to stop. Jayne became a box office has-been by the early 1960s.
Oh my God, that was so fast.
Her career was really only like 4 to 5 years, and then people were like, she's kind of annoying. Her boobs are too big. She's like kind of bugging us with this like voice that she does. I can't even like do the voice, but
I can picture it even just thinking of like old Hollywood stars like that.
It's just the really, oh my goodness. It's almost like that actually.
It's like Betty Boop.
It's Betty Boop and it's the little, it's truly, and people are like, enough.
Enough, you beast. I mean, I have to check myself with celebrities now when I'm like, oh my God, they're so annoying because they're everywhere. It's like, if we don't have it, we want it.
Exactly.
And if we get it, it's too much.
Exactly. So she remained a celebrity and she was able to attract large crowds outside the United States, which also happens a lot because the US culture of celebrity, I mean, like everywhere has this, but like it is very much like, let's chew you up and spit you out, like in an aggressive timeline.
100%.
So she goes overseas and she's having success doing nightclub acts, including, and where she gets success in the United States is in Vegas doing that.
Okay. Wow. She's like very modern.
It's kind of like Countess Luann. Like she starts doing these nightclub acts where people aren't really taking her seriously, but she's using her sexuality and she's singing and dancing and playing a little bit of music. And people are still like, oh my God, that's the Playboy, hot Jayne Mansfield.
Yeah. Luann, knowing that she just got compared to Jayne Mansfield, we'd never hear the end of that.
Yeah. God, yeah. I know. Luann, don't listen to that. Also, I'm sorry, Jayne, I don't think that of you. But
well, hey, Luann's talented all on her own. Who would have thought she would still be doing sold out shows?
Shocking.
I know. We're talking about Real Housewives of New York, if you guys don't know, too.
Yeah, you guys got to get on that. And side note, everyone asking us where to start on Housewives, which we get this question every week. Season 1, Beverly Hills, first.
Season 1, episode 1. You're welcome.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. So Fox stopped viewing her as a major Hollywood star and started loaning her and her likeness out to foreign productions in England and Italy until the end of her contract in 1962. And many of these English-Italian films, people are like, they're crazy.
Really?
Like, they're like a little like obscure, like people are like, it wasn't respected.
Is it like campy?
I think they're more just like a little, like, I think they're artsy. I think they're make people uncomfortable in a way I'm not sure why.
Totally. Like an art house film.
I think so.
Okay. Very like Andy Warhol almost.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
the studios were like, you know what? You kind of are like too pregnant all the time and you're having too many kids and like now you're just a mom. And what's sad to me about like, oh my God, there is such a sad part of the documentary where she is trying to reclaim herself as like a serious actress. She's trying to get away from the sex symbol and she goes on a talk show and she asks to play her violin because she wants people to see that she's like talented and she's like, she looks like beautiful, but she's a little bit more covered up. She's not showing off her breasts. She's wearing like a long black dress and she has like a fur around her shoulders. I literally like feel like I could cry. She starts playing the violin and she's nervous and it doesn't sound very good. It's like just like what you were saying at the beginning. And you'll see her throughout the whole documentary playing the violin to perfection. And during this talk show, and the disgusting host is like, oh, well, you just kissed me already. You like, who cares about this?
God.
And it's a little bit like, nah, nah, nah. Like just that little off. And then she's like, oh, well, just forget it.
Oh,
you know,
no.
and she's like embarrassed, but she's trying to prove herself as like something else.
Also, I said it was unforgivable. At the beginning, it's unforgiving. But apparently, maybe to people, it is unforgivable. I think if she had like someone on her team who would care about her, like, I don't know if this was live or not, but I think that they were rare. Maybe they were more live back then. I'd be like, stop, let's take it again. Take a deep breath. You got this.
I think they were live, most of them.
Oh,
I can't imagine.
me either.
And you know, this is a hard time because she's now feeling depressed and she's like, does anyone even like me anymore? She and Mickey are suffering.
No.
She's taking it all out on him.
Oh,
And you know, we don't know about this relationship. No one is perfect, but the way in which people speak about Mikey is Mickey is so like sweet and endearing, and every other man she is with and that she will be with after this is such trash to her. And it is tragic that she was like, you know what? I'm off to Italy and I'm off to have an affair.
well, she's probably like chasing a rush too and trying to find like a new form of someone, thinking that she's like shiny and new.
Exactly. You're chasing it. So she is rumored to have a couple of affairs during this time. One with this man named Nelson Sardelli, a Brazilian-born singer and actor, and we'll get back to him later.
Okay.
So she's having an affair with Nelson. I think they're only together for a little bit, and it's not publicized at this time. Everyone's like, I think they're good friends. Like, yeah. But then she finds out that she's pregnant, and she's like, Nelson, I gotta go. Gotta go back to LA. And this is when, and I mentioned Mariska earlier to say all the children that she had, but this is when she's pregnant with Mariska.
Okay. Well, you know, on the doc, I saw her saying something about like not knowing her dad or something. Okay.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
So Jayne is pregnant and she has Mariska. And she, yeah.
Does Mickey think that Mariska, like Jayne comes back and she's like, I'm pregnant. Okay. Oh.
So we don't exactly ever know what Mickey knows or thinks about this pregnancy, but we assume that let's for the sake of the story just say, oh, you know, we had sex before she went off. Great. It could totally be my kid.
Or like she got back and she was like, let's go immediately.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, this is juicy.
Exactly. So she has Mariska, but then Jayne is like, you know what, Mickey, it's just not working. She's like, we tried to make it work, even with, you know, having another kid. And so she met her third husband. So they break up. Mickey is devastated, but he very shortly after meets another woman who he will be with for the rest of his life, who's in the documentary, who is able to offer insight about what Jayne was like. And they had a very interesting relationship.
Like, do you think that they were friends or they were just friendly enough?
I think, which now I'm forgetting her name, but his new wife was very much like, it will be hard for me to ever live up to the way that he loves Jayne, but I know he loves me in a way, and I love him so much that like I'm just gonna like stay with him.
Well, can you even imagine like the way that he loves her, and also just like the power of Jayne Mansfield as a person? Anyway, it's like, how do you do it?
I have chills again. I have chills.
Yeah.
It's just, I know, like what, and I almost wanted more from her. Like in every interview, I'm like, but you do get a lot from her at the doc. God, this doc should be sponsoring us. I mean, it was so good.
You know what? I tried. I reached out to HBO.
I know. My baby's always networking.
I'm trying. So HBO, please call us still. We'd love to chat. I love your work.
We'd love to have Mariska. I mean, Mariska just did Call Her Daddy.
Okay. Well,
yeah, and I did listen to it, and it was a beautiful interview.
So she's doing podcasts.
She's doing podcasts. She's going around.
That's right.
So she marries this guy named Matt Clymer. He was directing her. He was the director of her in the last movie that she had done before she was like canceled out of Hollywood. And they married, and then he was like, look, like I can be your manager. Like I'm in the industry. So, and I think she was attracted to that. She was like, okay, now I need someone to like help me get back into Hollywood.
Also being a caretaker. Like it's so, no matter what, any relationship, I mean, maybe not everyone is susceptible to it, and I just need to unpack this, but like who doesn't want that?
Exactly.
But it never works out well.
No, sure doesn't. Sure doesn't. So she's with him for a little bit. They're together for like 4 years, I think. He ended up directing her in this B movie called Single Room Furnished, which was her final film. It wasn't released until years later. They did have a son together, so she's still popping him out.
Oh my God, she is fertile myrtle. How many is that? Or four?
Four.
Okay.
This is, or let's see, fifth. Because she has 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is her fifth. Has Tony with him, who ends up becoming a director and real estate agent. And they split up just after 1 year together and then divorced in 1966. And the relationship was plagued by Jayne's kind of newly relationship with alcohol and pills.
Oh my God. It is just like we will never learn.
I know. And so she's starting to drink. You see this like stark contrast in her in pictures, from her physical appearance to just like overall essence. Looks like she's aged like 20 years all of a sudden. She's wearing like very heavy makeup and heavy eyeliner. I think she's trying to be like, feel sexy again. And it's like hard to see. And her youngest daughter says that she, at this time in her life, like a lot of her memories were trying to hide alcohol bottles from her mom, throwing pills down the drain, and just kind of trying to keep her afloat.
I also just feel so sad. And I feel like we see this a lot too, of like the youngest kid having such a different relationship than the oldest kid to her. And that's
oh
so
my
unfair.
God. I mean, she like arguably might be the only one that ever had a relationship with her.
The oldest one?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Like in a way that she remembers a lot of their time together. Like she has memories where the other kids don't really.
That is so sad. Well, they were all born so close together too. I forgot about that.
Yes. So she is struggling, and then she starts dating her divorce attorney, this trash man named Sam Brody, who was physically abusive to her. And her sons remember some early memories of like going into her room in the morning and seeing that she would be in bed and put her sunglasses on early in the morning inside to hide bruises on her eyes. And it was just a really devastating time. And she's not working, and she's truly just so depressed.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I was like wondering what part of the episode to put this in, but I think this is a good time to like reveal a bit about the baby daddy situation before we get to her final days.
Okay.
Okay, so up until now, Mickey was thought to be Mariska's biological father. Okay?
Like everyone thinks that.
Everyone thinks that. We don't exactly know what Mickey ever thought, if he had his suspicions. I do believe that he knew all along, and he knew his whole life, and he was like, it doesn't fucking matter.
Oh my God, I have the chills again. I literally have the chills.
I know. So the way that Mariska talks about her dad is just beautiful. Like, she is like, he was everything to me. Like, he was my protector. He was my best friend. Like, they had such a close relationship. And so Mariska goes her whole, childhood, doesn't think anything, would never even question it, has never even heard any rumors. It's just like, that's my dad. Of course it's my dad. And when she is 25 years old, a fan, like the head of a Jayne Mansfield's fan club, whose whole like office or house or wherever it is just filled with Jayne Mansfield memorabilia. You know the type.
That's mental illness, sweetie.
Mental illness. I mean, there's cardboard cutouts, and there's all of these photos of her in albums and autographs and like all these things. And he's like, we're doing like a Valentine's Day celebration of Jayne, and we'd like you to come.
Does Mariska go? I feel like that would be very scary.
Mariska goes, which we'll talk about at the end of the episode, I think, like why she went when more is revealed about the end of Jayne's life. But so she goes, and she's like looking through all these photos, and the head of the fan club is like, God, your mom was everything, and she was an icon. And he says, do you want to see a picture of Nelson? And she was like, who's Nelson? And his face went completely white. And he goes, I'm so sorry. I thought you knew. You know what? It's probably just rumors. It's probably just all like fan fiction. And the moment that he said that, Mariska says that she knew exactly what he meant, that that was her biological father.
I have the chills you can't see on Riverside. I have the fucking chills.
I do too. And that she's like, but she's like, okay, sure, show me a photo of this guy, like, just spiraling. Looks at this photo and says, that is me. That man has my face. That is me.
I can't imagine. That is wild.
And so she drives to Mickey's house, and she says she hardly even remembers the drive, that she's like, my whole world felt like it was falling apart. Like, are my siblings, even my siblings, like.
I feel sick. Wait, did you say Mariska was 25?
25.
Okay, so was she already famous?
Not quite yet, because she got SUV when she was 32, I think.
Okay, so that makes so much more sense of why she would go.
Exactly.
Like, she's not so famous. Okay.
Exactly. And so she drives to Mickey's house. Mickey's literally in the middle of constructing her a home. Like, that's like he is building her a home. This man just loves her so much. So she pulls up to a construction site. Like, and that's very symbolic of just like, this man has done everything for me in my life. And so she pulls up and she's like, this is just the situation I just had. And she's like hyperventilating. And he was like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, that is crazy. That's horseshit. I don't even want you like getting these thoughts in your head. We're never speaking about this again. You are my daughter. You will always be my daughter. I love you so much. And she says, okay, you're right. It must have just been crazy. And they never talk about it again.
Oh my God. Wow. This is so classic. I don't know. Something about his response makes me be like, oh, he knew.
So I believe he 100% knew.
I think he did too.
I think he knew. And when you watch the doc, you'll see that he just knew. Of course. Like, how could he not? So, yeah. So this guy, Nelson, who was that Brazilian singer-songwriter that Jayne had an affair with, so Nelson is interviewed in the doc. And when she's like 27, she goes to see him with a friend. They go to Atlantic City and he's performing and she knows who he is.
Oh my God. So, okay. Yeah, you said he's a singer-songwriter. But
She's
not in Brazil anymore.
No, he's in Atlantic City.
Okay. Right. You said that.
And no, it's very like, it's just so crazy. And so she tracks him down. She goes with a friend and she watches him perform. And after the show, she goes backstage and she goes, hi, Nelson. My name is Mariska. I believe that you knew my mom, Jayne. And he stops and hugs her and goes, I have been waiting my whole life to hear you say that.
Stop. I'm going to cry.
I know.
I have the chills.
Oh my God, you're not going to be okay. You're not going to be okay when you watch this.
Also, you know what's crazy is like Mariska's face looks so much like Jayne's face. It's crazy.
And then you'll meet Nelson and you're like, yeah, like you are literally the spitting image of both of them.
I mean, that's how I feel about Ronan Farrow and Frank Sinatra. Like, to me,
totally.
I'm like, sweetheart, Woody Allen is not your father. Look at Frank Sinatra. You guys look just alike.
I mean, it's the proof is in the pudding,
The proof is genetics.
Genetics. And so they have this moment. She never tells her dad about it. And to this day, Mickey has now passed, but she has a very close, she has a close relationship with Nelson and his daughters. And those are now her half sisters. And she has been able to discover, her relationship with them. And it's something that she kept a secret until the doc aired.
Oh my God. What about her maternal siblings? Did they know about this?
No, she kept it a secret from everybody. She just and because of Jayne's death, which we're about to talk about, I think she did not want to feel like she had lost both parents in a way, or to put that on her other siblings. And so she kept it with her for a very long time, for like 30 years.
That makes total sense. I just don't know, but I do know how you do. Like, it's just crazy.
I know.
Wow.
I know. So back to Jayne. We're back to 1967. And, this story has a very sad ending, unfortunately. On June 28th, 1967, Jayne finished, she was doing a show. She was doing one of her nightclub shows in Mississippi. And she had planned to depart to New Orleans, where she had a television appearance the following day. Traveling with her in the car were her attorney and boyfriend, Trash Sam Brody, a driver from the nightclub named Ronnie Harrison, and 3 of her 5 children. Mariska, who was only 3 years old at the time, and her 2 brothers, Mickey Jr. and Zoltan. During the early hours of June 29th, the 1966 Buick convertible they were traveling in crashed into the rear end of a tractor-trailer truck.
That's right.
The 18-wheeler truck had slowed because it was approaching a mosquito fogging machine. Harrison, who was driving the car, was reportedly unable to see the truck because of the thick white, pesticides being sprayed by the machine. So the force of the crash sent the car's engine into its front seat, killing all 3 adult occupants, Jayne, Brody, and Harrison, as well as Jayne's dog. She loved Chihuahuas. All were killed immediately. And Mariska and her 2 other brothers suffered minor injuries because they were asleep in the back seat. So everyone in the back seat and the kids survived. I know.
That is so awful.
It's truly so awful. And Claire, I did not know this until I watched the doc because this wasn't in my research process. But an ambulance comes and gets them. I don't know how long it took. Gets everyone out of the car, and they're going to the nearest hospital. And her brother, I forget which one, I want to say it's Zoltan, is kind of coming in and out because the injuries weren't minor for the kids. And he's coming in and out, and they're on the way to the hospital, and he opens his eyes, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. And he goes, "Where's Maria?" Which is what she was called, meaning Mariska. And the driver is like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "My sister is not in the car. Where is she?" So they realized that Mariska had fallen down beneath one of the seats, and they had missed her when they were getting everybody into the ambulance. And so they turned around and realized that she was stuck beneath there, and her brother saved her life.
Oh my God. You said Mariska was 3?
She was 3. And so I think her brother was, I want to say they were 6 and 8.
This is so awful.
Or maybe even maybe they were closer in age. I don't know the exact ages that they all were, but so they went back to get her. So she almost died there.
Oh my God.
I know. And there was a lot of reports that Jayne was immediately decapitated. It has since then been proven that she wasn't, but she had a very brutal death. I mean, it was instant. It was horrific. If you see pictures of the car, it's crazy. I mean, it's this big. It had just been completely I don't even know the word. I mean,
what is a horrible way to go?
And all of your kids survived, but oh my God, it's just so tragic.
Tragic. That's the perfect word for it.
It's just tragic. And it happened at 2:25 a.m. Her funeral was held on July 3rd in Pennsylvania, near where she had spent part of her childhood. She was buried in the same plot as her mother's family at Fairview Cemetery.
How old was she?
Oh my God, how old was she? I think she was...
What year did this happen again?
This happened in 1967. I think she was 30...
mid to late 30s.
I think she was 33, actually. Or 34.
Oh my God, she's so young.
She's so young, 5 children. Her loved ones wanted to keep the services private, but nearly 1,000 fans and onlookers flocked to the small Pennsylvania town in an attempt to witness the Hollywood Bombshells Memorial, creating a circus atmosphere, which is just so gross. Her second husband, Mickey, says, quote, "I wish the whole world would remember her as I do. She was a remarkable woman and a great mother. I am really sorry that nobody ever really knew the real Jayne."
Oh my God.
I know. And interestingly enough, her death caused the safety overhaul for the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Yes, I forgot about that. There's something that you have to have on big wheels now, right?
Well, so it changed the design of tractor trailers
Yes.
to prevent this type of accident. And it's such a sad way to end the episode, but that is Jayne Mansfield. There's a quote I really like by her that's very simple. It's short and sweet. And I think it's very Ram coded. She said, if you're going to do something wrong, do it big, because the punishment is the same either way. I know.
That's going to make me cry too.
No, I know. It's so emotional. And I'm just so happy that like her daughter is now able, after all these years, to create this movie that shows her in the most like beautiful, human, complicated way. It shows the amazing parts of her. It shows her struggles, but it also shows this part that no one knew, that Mickey said, like, no one's ever known the real Jayne. And the movie is like, you're just like, that's Jayne. That is the real Jayne Mansfield.
Oh, and her daughter is like, I mean, God, Jayne would be so proud of her daughter. Now, her daughter is one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood.
Her daughter is so successful, and it's interesting because Mariska's like, I didn't know my mom. Like, I was 3 years old. I don't remember the crash. I don't have memories with her. And that's such an interesting thing when your mom is this like Hollywood legacy. She was the sex symbol. She was like, people were obsessed with her. And I think Mariska was very much like, I resented her for so long because I was like, she was this ditz and that's how she got famous. And look how she showed off her body. And she was like, I want to do it completely opposite. Like, I wanted to play this character that was so not sexy and strong that no one would be able to, to pick apart and to sexualize. And then she was like, and then I had this moment of like really wanting to get to know her. And that's what made her want to create the movie. And she was like, she was so much more than that. And like, she was so amazing. I know.
I'm like, sobbing.
No, Claire, I'm worried for you tonight.
It's just so beautiful and tragic.
It's beautiful. It's tragic. It's so like what women have to go through in the media, and you're just torn apart. But I'm so glad this movie was made. I encourage everyone to watch it. Everyone to send this episode to someone who has watched it, because I just think her story should be told. And it's such a lesson in how we treat women and how we can just still do better.
Also, just like, these celebrities are humans too, and just let people live. I just feel like the internet is so negative right now. Everyone wants to have an opinion and just like trash people. What if we just like let each other live?
Just let each other live, let each other be. You don't have to put everyone in a box. You don't have to, you don't have to have an opinion on everyone. You can just be more gracious, be more kind and open.
I completely agree. Oh my God. Justice for Jayne.
Justice for Jayne. We love Jayne. We love Mariska.
Yes.
Justice for the girlies always.
Justice for the girlies always. Wow, Tess, that was so beautifully done. I am concerned about my night, but I am looking forward to it.
I had to do a palate cleanser after.
Yeah.
Which helped, because I truly was like, am I just going to sit and stare at this wall?
Well, Next Gen NYC's on tonight, so I'll do a little.
Oh, it's on tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, live?
Yeah, so I'll figure that out. But, I'll figure something out. Love Island,
I mean, if you want to come over, we can watch it live.
You can hold me.
So just let me, I'll hold you. I'll hold you, baby. So yeah, that's Jayne. If you guys like this episode, please share it. Please post it. You can follow us on Instagram at Right Answers Mostly, TikTok, watch video on YouTube, and join our premium for $7.99 a month for 3 bonus episodes where we talk about our personal lives and catch up and gossip. And we love you guys, and thank you for the support.
We love you so much, Rammies. We will see you next week.